gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
And find his body. They didn't find him in any hospitals.
Just days after Hamas gunmen unleashed a deadly rampage, killing hundreds and taking dozens hostage at Israel's Nova Music Festival, Daniel Zakin is still desperate for answers and hoping his cousin was not kidnapped.
Our hope is that he's alive and safe hiding somewhere.
Zakin, a Brookhaven resident, is talking about his first cousin, Jonathan Ram, a 23-year-old dual American-Israeli citizen.
Wow, so we have a guy from Brookhaven, and he's a dual citizen who found himself in the middle of a terrorist attack on the Gaza Strip, right, done by Hamas. And it's a very sad situation, right? Very sad situation. You know, warfare in the Middle East is never a good sign. All right. And you got people speculating about biblical prophecy and all this kind of stuff. So it's not a good sign that there is war going on between Israel and, well, I mean, obviously it's a proxy war with Iran, but, you know, the conduit is Hamas. So as you guys see, these terroristic tactics are being used to incite fear and, terror. So, people are also painting it as a holy war. So you got all these different concoctions of issues thrown into one pot. And you see that there's a piece of, us here in Atlanta, right? This guy, he's a resident. There's a piece of us out there too that makes us want to understand, get involved more, figure out how we can help. So, there's that, right? And we want to make sure that this guy gets back safely. And this is not something that we usually talk about, right? We don't talk about geopolitics on this and foreign affairs. We don't usually cover that type of stuff, okay? We're not that type of channel. We speak on domestic issues. We speak on crime in the community. However, I think this situation is very unique, being that, you have this guy who is from our backyard, right? And he's a Atlanta resident, and now he's caught up in this horrible situation.
Who was attending the festival with friends when the massacre began.
He was helping this girl who was having a panic attack escape, and they entered a vehicle together, started driving off, and they sustained a bunch of gunfire from Hamas.
Woo!
So they got out of the vehicle, started running. His wallet was found in a small town about 11 miles north of where the festival was. Which would have been walking about 4 hours of walking.
Daniel says he and his family were on a cruise headed to Israel where they planned to spend time with Jonathan and other family members, but they were turned away because of this attack.
It's just absolutely horrible that something like this could happen, and I don't think anyone could have ever expected this.
Tonight, Daniel says he's hopeful that his cousin is still alive.
Well, and I do have to correct him on that. He said he didn't think anyone would be expecting this, and Israeli intel have reported and admitted that they did get tipped off by the Egyptian, spies, if you will. I don't know. Intelligence, right? The Egyptian intelligence, they did get tipped off that something big was going to happen. So, obviously you can't know exactly what's going to go down, but there was an understanding that, something was going to happen, and maybe just a lack of getting that up the chain of command to really prevent it or beef up security in a way that would have prevented something like this. So, mistakes were made, right? Mistakes were made, and some people, can jump in and say, oh, well, it's a conspiracy, this, that, and the third. But I just want to kind of, be as objective as possible, because I know YouTube is censoring this topic. But then we also have the advent of leftists in the street saying free Palestine, all this kind of stuff. So you have so much going on domestically and internationally. And, many lives are at stake. And it's just a horrible situation. I mean, it feels like we're on the brink of World War III with this Ukraine thing going on, and now with Israel and this Palestine thing going on. So, buckle up.
But he also fears that time is quickly running out.
We all love him and care about him, and we're all doing our best to get any piece of information we can.
All right, so during our conversation, I asked Daniel, once your cruise ship docks, you heading back to Atlanta? He said no, he's going to be on standby. That's because he wants to go back to Israel and he wants to fight in this war. He was once a member of the Israel Defense Forces. He says that he wants to go back and fight for Israel, so he's waiting for that phone call. Now, of course, in less than 2 hours, we are going to see a huge crowd out here. We are going to be out here monitoring all those events, and we'll have much more coming up on Channel 2 Action News at 6. For now, we're live in Sandy Springs. Michael Seiden, Channel 2 Action News.
Starting with this one, we've been reporting this throughout the morning. This video that you saw probably on your social media. Well, new details are now unraveling in a scary situation impacting travelers at the world's busiest airport. A woman accused of stabbing 3 people, including a police officer. Atlanta News First, Rebecca.
Wow. So, I got reports of this early on today, and you have a woman who stabbed 3 people, including a police officer, at Hartsfield, Jackson, one of the biggest airports in the world, in Atlanta. And it's so wild because this happens on the brink of Hamas leaders, terrorist leaders, calling for a national Jihad day on Friday, all right, which is the 13th of October. So, it's Friday the 13th, very spooky. We are in October. It's a very weird, eerie time, and tensions are high. Anticipation of some massive event or potentially massive casualty event is, in the wake, and we're just sitting here wondering what's going to happen. And then this pops off and you're looking at your phones, you're thinking, oh my God, are these people actually taking this National Jihad Day thing seriously? And you come to find out it's not quite that.
Tram was live for us at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport moments ago, and she has the latest.
To you, I've been looking over the police report, and they are telling us that 44-year-old Damarius Milton of Orlando, Florida, came here to the airport by taxi. She was picked up at the Kensington MARTA station in DeKalb County. Travelers in an unsecure part of the South Terminal weren't sure what was happening Wednesday afternoon when officers ordered them to get down for their own safety. Turned out a woman, identified by Atlanta police as Milton, was armed with a knife. Police tell us she had already stabbed the taxi driver who took her to the airport.
Damn, so she stabbed her ride. I mean, these women are crazy. These women are crazy. They're losing their minds. And they're going crazy at the airports. I've been reporting on sisters specifically going crazy at the airport, and this is just another example. I mean, she should be considered a terrorist. These are terroristic acts to do this at an airport.
And officers were shouting at her to drop the weapon.
Officers then began to try to limit the female's movement, keep her in one area, and to get some of the travelers out of the area.
You mean to tell me that they didn't gun her down like a dog? Like they have convinced Black Americans that that's pretty much how it goes down with police and criminal interactions, specifically violent criminals.
During the encounter, police tell us Milton took a swipe at a Delta employee, cutting her in the chest area, and then stabbed an Atlanta police lieutenant in the leg after he slipped and fell while trying to pepper spray her.
Wow. And she stabbed another woman, then the police officer, These super sister gremlins are on demon time.
Another officer was then able to tackle the woman and get the knife away from her, according to police.
2 civilians that were stabbed are in stable condition. The Atlanta police lieutenant is also in stable condition.
And within the last hour, Milton faced a judge in Clayton County for a formal reading of her charges. She faces 4 counts of aggravated assault.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jinquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Begin tonight with terrifying moments for travelers at the Atlanta airport late this afternoon. What police are saying about a woman who stabbed 3 people near a security checkpoint. And tonight, that woman is in custody. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. We do know police say there is not a threat to the public right now. Fox 5's Joy Dukes joins us at the airport live with the latest on what we've learned about the suspect. Joy?
And I just want to point out she's charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault, but isn't she supposed to get some type of terroristic threats charges? Or I mean, how are these individuals just getting off with? I mean, it's probably because she's a woman to some degree, but you bring a weapon in the airport and you actually stab people, and that's all she gets? I mean, that's BS.
Yeah, Russ, Courtney, good evening to you both. Multiple police sources tell Fox 5 that woman arrived here by cab and then stabbed her driver before heading inside Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, where Atlanta police confronted her. Cell phone video shows passengers on the ground inside Hartsfield Jackson International Airport stand up in applause of officers who'd arrested a woman they say stabbed 3 people.
Around 4:45 this afternoon, officers assigned to the Atlanta airport encountered a female who was armed with a knife.
Department officials say the woman stabbed a man just outside the security checkpoint. That's when several officers approached her and others tried to get nearby passengers to safety.
The female then walked into the south terminal where she stabbed an adult female. Shortly after that, an Atlanta police lieutenant attempted to take her into custody, and he was stabbed in the leg.
Officers eventually got the woman into custody. Medics rushed the victims to Grady for treatment, and police began their investigation into what led up to the violent attacks. Passenger Noah Eaton says he was alarmed at the sight of caution tape inside the terminal.
Definitely brought up a little bit of a red flag, just kind of concerning. Didn't really know why, but yeah, definitely raised some cause for concern for sure.
Joanne Aston tells Fox 5 she was stunned to learn about the stabbing that as of now appears to have been at random.
That's the part right there is you just never know, right? So again, you try to know your surroundings, you try to...
And you know, we're on high alert. Remember, guys, we are on high alert. We're afraid of a imminent terrorist attack. And then you have this sister doing this, and we're thinking, oh, we're at the airport, and we're like, oh, Lord, you know, what do we need to do? Do we need to cancel all the flights? Do we need to leave? Oh, no, it's just some crackhead, you know, super sister gremlin bitch who's acting a damn fool at the airport.
Pay attention to what you're doing, where you're going.
Thankfully, all 3 of the people stabbed are expected to be okay. And right now, operations at the airport have returned to normal. Now, there is no word on the charges that woman will face at this point. We're still waiting to hear from APD on that. But we'll be sure to keep you updated as we work to learn more in this developing story. We're live tonight at Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Well, glad to hear the injuries weren't more serious. Joy, thanks very much.
Farmer. And we are gaining new insight about the woman seen on video waving a knife at Hartsfield Jackson
There you go. There you have it. These super sister gremlins are on demon time. And I've been telling you, they've been losing their minds, especially at the airport. Losing her goddamn mind. You got this woman in, you know, her mugshot crossing her eyes. I mean, this lady is on drugs, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Even though I think her bond was denied, I'm telling you, they're going to reappeal for a bond, plead insanity, do something. She's not going to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. I can guarantee you that right now. Not in Atlanta, maybe somewhere else, not here. Even though she did this at an airport, I mean, she skirted terroristic charges. I mean, how are you? I mean, she's a terrorist. She attacked multiple people with a knife at the airport. If that's not terrorism, I don't know what it is.
National Airport. Police say Damarius Milton stabbed multiple people, including an Atlanta police lieutenant. Today, she argued with a judge hearing her case. Channel 2's Audrey Washington is live at the airport, where Audrey security has stepped up there now.
Right, police officers are all around this area, some in plain clothes, some in uniform. Right now, we are live here right outside of the security checkpoint area. This is where police say that suspect went on a stabbing spree and left 3 people, including a police lieutenant, injured. Today, she finally went before a judge and acted in a way that can only be described as erratic. The court appearance was chaotic from the very beginning.
Smith. I'm looking for Damarius Milton.
At first, suspect Damarius Milton refused to give the Clayton County magistrate judge her real name. Then the proceedings began.
All right, Miss. So let's go back to what I've been saying. We talk about, oh, well, you know, black people we're getting the bulk of these we're getting longer sentences, 20% more in sentencing time for the same crimes. And what did I say it came down to? Your attitude in the courtroom, how you address the judge. Are you respectful? See, these people nowadays, they got it easy. They don't even have to appear in person and really be present and really look the judge in the eye and say, hey, man, I fucked up. They don't have to do that no more. These people, and excuse my French, but I mean, the lack of accountability is crazy. These people, they're on a Zoom call. She's, you know, the judge got a headset, you know, with a fake ass green screen backdrop, and she don't have to look the judge in his eyes. She don't have to pay him no respect. She don't have to say your honor. I mean, she's giving him a fake name. She's bugging. She's tripping, you know, and then you wonder, oh well, why didn't the judge give them grace? Why did the judge give them a more stern sentence than, you know, the white boy who did the same shit last week? And the reason why is because of the way that y'all are coming into this courthouse. I'm telling you right now, all of it plays a factor. And, you know, this is a perfect example. I mean, we see it all the damn time. You rolling your eyes at the judge, disrespectful to the judge, you know, not saying your honor, thinking that he your friend or he's some teacher that you can go back and forth with like you in high school still. Like, it ain't that.
Miss Milton, you have been charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Police say Damarius Milton is the woman you see in these cell phone videos. She's accused of stabbing multiple people here at Hartsfield Jackson Airport, including an APD lieutenant.
Oh, she's got a knife.
Travelers looked on in shock as police commanded Milton to drop the knife. They finally tackled her down to the ground and booked her into the Clayton County Jail. That's where she took this bizarre mugshot. Inside court, Milton appeared unfazed by the severity of charges she now faces. At one point, she lashed out at the judge when asked if she wanted a public defender to handle her case.
Y'all already just said what y'all gonna do to me. Why am I answering any questions?
All right. Hey, ma'am, I'm going to go ahead and assign a counsel to assist you on your case.
It's really bad.
Told you. The attitude, I mean, she's walking into all the negative stereotypes, unfortunately. And it doesn't bring me joy to report on this because, I genuinely, when I saw this story at first, just, 3 stabbed at Hartsfield Jackson Airport, I'm thinking, yo, these terrorist cells, like, it's really popping off, like, they're really like that. And then come to find out, it's just a super sister gremlin on demon time.
Darryl Cohen is a former prosecutor and currently a criminal defense attorney. He is not representing Milton, but told me the attorney who does will have a mountain of video evidence and possibly an uncooperative client to deal with.
A lawyer files a motion for psychiatric evaluation. And then when that evaluation comes back and says that she knows right from wrong, she doesn't know right from wrong.
And I'm told one victim was actually threatened with a knife. 3 others were stabbed. That's why Milton faces 4 aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charges. She is back in jail awaiting her next court date. And we are live here inside Hartsfield Jackson Airport. Audrey Washington, Channel 2 Action.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.